So it looks like ADA is still within this WXY structure that I've been tracking, and we could potentially see lower lows. And I was looking for a bigger move to the upside where we tapped into this region here between 8 cents to 84 cents. And this target was our X wave target, which is a 50 to 88.2% retracement of our W wave. However, we failed to reach this region here, and as long as ADA met the minimum requirement, which is a 23.6% retracement of our W wave, then this wave structure is still valid. So using the fib tool, and you can see that the 0.236 retracement level sits at 77.12 cents, and we ended up reaching 79.24 cents. And so, yeah, again, despite us not reaching our typical requirement, this wave structure is still valid given that we met the minimum requirement. And so it looks like ADA now is in the Y wave, where we could potentially see lower lows, given that this Y wave is typically a 1 to 1.226 retracement of our W wave. So using the fib tool and put this in the right position. And you can see that ADA has the potential to reach anywhere between 65.89 cents to 68.25 cents. Now within this Y wave, I can see that it is made up of corrective moves rather than impulsive moves, where here we have a WXY structure and we also have another WXY structure. And so it looks like within this Y wave, we have a bigger WXY structure forming. But first, I'll check to see if that Y wave has met the minimum and typical requirements. And yeah, you can see that the Y wave typically retraces anywhere between 1 to 1.236, which we ended up doing so. And so it looks like the WXY structure is now complete. And then we had this move to the upside to complete the X wave, which is a 50 to 88.2% retracement of our W wave. And you can see that the 50% retracement level sits at around 76 cents, and the 88.2% retracement level sits at around 78.54 cents. And we ended up reaching that zone. And so it looks like that X wave is now complete. And then we have this bigger move to the downside to complete the Y wave, where we have a WXY structure forming. So again, if I use the fib tool, and bring that down to the right position, and you can see that we ended up reaching that target between 1 to 1.226. And so it's possible that we see that reversal to the upside where we then see high highs. But given that within this Y wave, it looks like we have another WXY structure forming. What I'll do is check to see if this Y wave has met the typical requirements. So using the fib tool, and yeah, you can see that there is still a little bit more room to the downside, where ADA could reach anywhere between 69.31 cents to 70.63 cents. Now, if I remove this and check to see what's going on here, if I go on a 5-minute chart, and yeah, it looks like within this WXY structure, this W wave is made up of impulsive moves, where we have a 5-wave move. So we've got a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So because this W wave is made up of 5 waves, then that means that this Y wave will need to be made up of 5 waves also. And so, yeah, hence why it looks like we could go even deeper. And so if I remove this and go on the hourly chart, what you can see is using this fib tool. And so that's our typical requirements for that one. And then we've got this wave here. And then bring that down to here. And so, yeah, it looks like ADA could actually go even deeper, where we potentially tap into this region here and potentially even this region. So what will be interesting is to see if this Y wave is actually made up of 5 waves rather than 3 waves, where here we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So something to that effect. But yeah, again, it looks like we are potentially going to go even deeper, despite us being oversold on a stochastic RSI. And if I go on the 4-hour chart, what you can see is we are neutral, and we are slowly starting to see that reversal. And the last time that happened was back over here, and we ended up seeing that reversal to the upside where the bulls regained control of the market. And so it will be interesting to see if the same thing happens, where we see that reversal to the upside and then another push to the downside, where we then potentially tap into either this region or this region over here. Now, as far as the daily chart goes, you can see that we are also oversold. And so it looks like we are within the final stages of this corrective move to the downside. And I am looking for that bigger move to the upside where we see higher highs and ADA potentially tap into this region here. And as you guys know, I've been tracking this wave 3 to the upside, where we see higher highs. And it's possible that we see a 5-wave move within this wave 3, where if I was to draw that in, what we have is your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so it's possible that ADA is within this 4th wave, which is typically a 23.6% to 50% retracement of our 3rd wave. And so if I use the fib tool and bring that to over here, so you can see that ADA has a potential to reach anywhere between 68 to 77 cents, which more or less falls within this region here, the upper target of this region here. And so, yeah, there is still a little bit more room to the downside. However, given that we are within this region between 23.6 to 50%, we could see that reversal to the upside. And for argument's sake, if we have bottomed out to complete the 4th wave, then we can anticipate ADA to reach anywhere between the 1.236 to 1.618 retracement level. So anywhere between 90 cents to 96 cents to complete the 5th wave. And from the current price of ADA to, say, the 1.236 retracement level, we're looking at a 26% move to the upside. Or if we reach the 1.618 retracement level, we're looking at a 34% move to the upside. And so, yeah, it will be interesting to see what pattern is actually forming right now. And again, I'm looking at this 5-wave move to the upside where we are potentially within this 4th wave. And we don't necessarily have to tap into these two targets, given that we have met the minimum requirements. And so we could potentially see that reversal, given that we are oversold on the stochastic RSI. And again, on the 4-hour chart, we are neutral. And so we could see that pump to the upside also. And on a daily chart, we are oversold. And so we could potentially see that reversal to the upside. But the flip side to that could be that we are within the final stages of this corrective move and we tap into one of these two targets. And so that's just my quick update on Cardano ADA. Hopefully you found this useful. And if you did, then feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.